Mm.
And it's the same thing with men, right? Because in patriarchy, there is the story of that being, yes, it's male centric and there's male privilege. However, it's brutal for men in the following way is that they are being, you know, it's being treated as ATMs, right? Like it's
Yeah.
the dad, but the minute the dad retires, he's no longer the head of the family, right?
Yeah.
So the eldest son or whoever is the earner and who's going to take care of them or whatever
Mm.
gets the pride of place, right? It's not
Yeah.
being seen as a whole human, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, if that older son, let's say, is, I don't know, neurodivergent, handicapped, whatever reason,
Yeah.
does not fulfill the ceremonial role of the patriarch, right?
Yeah.
Refuses to play that role,
He
even
moves on.
women and everybody in the family will unceremoniously take him out of it and install a new patriarch because
Mm.
that's a role as opposed to a person, right? So it's being
Yeah.
objectified like that for men to, and this is what men don't understand is patriarchy also harms men.
Yeah.
So right, so it's like when one gender wins, both genders lose, right? You
Yeah.
can't have, yeah, exactly. So that overt privilege or something that the male gets anointed to or installed in is very crippling for the male, right? Because it's still being anointed for a reason, right? Like
Yeah.
it involves the sacrifice of the self, right? For example, we know this if that eldest son, who's the future patriarch, will be groomed for that role,
Mm.
right? And now, if he marries somebody outside the religion or outside the caste, that's it, right? He's
Yeah. But it's,
unceremoniously thrown
yeah.
out, and a new person is installed to that role. They don't
Yeah.
care. Women do it, right? It's not just men. Women do it too for their own, protection, right? So
Yeah.
women often are the torch bearers of patriarchy, right? You see in like I'm
Yeah.
talking about the Indian like context, and it applies to all contexts. Like the man will be the CEO who will say this is what needs to be done. But the COOs, the women, are the executors of patriarchy inside families, right? And they are perpetrators of lateral violence, right? Women on women
Mm.
violence is very real in workplaces as well as in our homes, right?
Mm.
So we don't, at workplaces, it's a big thing, right? I work with so many women who I see it two ways, right? For Indian women who have just, made it to leadership positions, I tell you this, like I was terrified the first time I started leading teams. I was terrified of being the woman who would put down other women for her own, of being the
Mm.
mother-in-law, as it were, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Indian mother-in-law who would, the stereotype,
Attack.
I
Yeah.
mean, right?
Yeah.
Who would bully the daughter-in-law, right? You're terrified of that because now that you have power, you're like, I don't want to be the perpetrator, right?
Yeah.
Because we're so used to looking at power as 0 or 1. It's like, oh, if there's an ultimate power, he's the bad guy, the perp, or I should be 0, the victim, and hence, right? Or the
One
savior,
or the other.
right?